Carrie here, otherwise known as Fresh Orangina, coming to you live again this morning. Let's deal with regain. A little preview of what is going to be in this video. So I'm going to be talking about sort of where I'm at right now and why. That'll be fun. And then sort of what I'm going to do and the strategies that I'm going to implement and that I have been implementing in order to deal with my regain. So stick around. I hope you watch the whole video and maybe leave some comments below on what helps you. I just want to, if you guys remember, because I always forget to say this, like and subscribe to this video for more. If you want to follow me through this regain journey, one of many, subscribe to the channel and then you'll see sort of how things progress. So stats. So I am 12 years out from weight loss surgery. I am what is known as a WLS alumni or a WLS vet, over 10 years out. And yeah, it never stops. The maintenance is something that like you have to work on all the time. So did I have regain this year? Oh yes, I did. Why did I have regain this year? So just a little bit of the stats before I started out, before surgery, my highest weight was just a little bit over 300 pounds. I had MGB, complications from that dropped down to like 130 in 10 months. And then 3 years later had a revision to modified RNY. I then 2 years after that had a massive regain when I was sick of over 100 pounds. I dealt with that through diet, and that's if you want to watch some of the videos from that, that's on my channel. You can, I think I put them together in a playlist. There's probably a regain playlist on there. COVID happened. I had done this vegan January thing, and that immediately I gained like 10 pounds. And I was like, oh God, I went off the rail on the carbs. Carbs are really a problem for me. Some people can eat them and it's not really a problem, but my body just is too efficient at packing them away. Every single time I go on the carb binge, I will gain weight, real weight immediately, not really bloating. It's real weight. It doesn't just go away. Alrighty, so what is biohacking? Some of you guys may have heard of this before, especially since like keto became like super fantastically popular. A lot of people are talking about biohacking. So it's basically using things that we know that are tactics in our behavior in order to modify how our body reacts to our environment and deals with the inputs that we put in them, right? If that makes sense. So it's basically tackling weight loss from a scientific perspective by using our own body's processes in order to gain tactical ground over the weight, right? You're looking for all the ways to increase fat burning in your body and like energy output, right? So how am I going to do this? There's three main ways that I'm going to be tackling that, and that's diet. So changes to my diet, which I've already done. So I've migrated to really a protein and produce based diet, not strict keto, but the carbs that I'm having are ones that are packed full of fiber and take a lot to digest. So, and I'm using less of them with a plethora of other ingredients in order to create a food that would be appropriate for what I'm aiming for with this biohacking business. So the other thing is microbes. I don't know if y'all know this, but the microbe profile of your gut has a lot to do with how your body reacts to things. So you may have heard, if you know about your microflora and the research that's been done over the past few years, there are profiles of gut microbes that are associated with obesity, and there are those that are associated with healthy weight. And people who have like the skinny microbes, they can eat a ton of food and like not really gain weight. Whereas if you change it to the micro profile for obesity, you will immediately like start getting weight. There's animal studies that confirm this like time and time again. So how do I change? What knowledge do we have? Because we don't really have a full knowledge of what microbes and how to get them and how to create that profile in our guts in order to have the most benefits from it. So I'm going to do it sort of by I know what's worked for me in the past. I know the kind of foods that my body sort of reacts well to, um, because they tend to make me happy also. I'm less depressed when I eat a diet like that. And that actually has to do with the microbes, right? Like the microbes can actually access your nervous system and affect your brain. They also produce a lot of neurotransmitters. So eating the right diet can actually make you happy. Did that just blow your mind? Because it kind of blows my mind a little bit. Like, we should be designing foods that way, you know? Um, a lot of the foods that are like very heavily processed commercial foods that are high in starch and high in fat and sugar, they tend to make you not feel great, right? Like you're a little bit more depressed, you're not your regular peppy self. When you're eating a really good diet that your body loves, that encourages that healthy microbe profile, you feel good and you want to do the good things. You want to eat those good foods that make you feel good. You get in the habit of it almost. And so the last thing is exercise. Now, you may think, oh, well, you know, like you've said before, like that diet is the mainstay of like for weight loss. What's this deal with exercise now? All of a sudden you're talking about, because I'm not really like a big, huge, consistent exercise person. This is the thing. Physical activity can also alter your microbes. So there's the little kicker, right? So even though you might not be directly exercising for burning off the specific calories in your workout that your Fitbit says or whatever, there are other things going on when your body behaves differently that we're not really fully aware of, that speaks to us as an ecosystem, right? When the environment changes, the creatures that inhabit that environment also change their behavior. It changes how they thrive. So adding that exercise in and doing it specifically, my goal is to do it in the morning before having breakfast. And that is specifically to while I've been fasting overnight and not eating, there are metabolic changes happening in the body that are restorative and protective. So when you exercise first thing in the morning, basically everything that you're burning off is going to be taken, like the energy is going to be taken from your fat stores, right? It's going to boost, if you're going like low carb enough, the energy will boost that that aspect. So, okay, moving on. I don't want to get caught up here because it's sort of a lot to cover. And I don't have that much time left. I got to keep this short. So, microbes, exercise. So I'm doing in the morning, 20 minutes, nothing crazy. I'm doing some fun workouts that are on YouTube. So what else am I doing? Bonus biohacks right here. So the bonus biohacks, one of the things that I'm doing is cold exposure. I'm not bundling up too much when I like take the dog out to pee in the morning so that I actually get that shot of cold air. In the shower, I will do an alternate almost, like, so I'll go cold, 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 then back to warm, cold, 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 cold. That cold exposure actually creates metabolic changes in your diet. When you're exposed to the cold, your body boosts production of brown fat cells, and those brown fat cells are the ones that burn off the white fat cells that are your storage fat. So your functional fat, think of that. Your functional fat is your brown fat cells. You want to boost that. So that cold exposure is going to, the brown fat cells are on the front of the body and the back, basically covering like your internal organs, right? It's protective. And they take the fat from the rest of your body and burn it off as heat. That's why like people who are on keto get night sweats and stuff. So that's one thing I'm doing. The other thing is intermittent fasting. So the longer I can go, it kind of does a better job at using energy in my body more efficiently. So that's something, and I'm not doing anything crazy. I'll just wait a little bit later until I have breakfast, and I'll try not to eat when I wake up in the middle of the night. Because I do that a lot. Fasted exercise, which I already kind of talked about. I'm thinking about doing a little bit of apple cider vinegar thing because I've heard a lot of good things about that, and there's a lot of studies concerning this. So that's a maybe. I think I'm going to try that. And then this other thing is this concept of this Japanese notion of hari hachibu, which is pushing away your plate before you've finished eating. And the reason why I want to do that is for mindfulness. So it's not really a biohack, but basically it is because it can get you in the habit of becoming more mindful. If you tell yourself, okay, I'm going to push it away at the end before I'm really full, you're really listening to what your body is telling you while you're eating. And when you get that I'm full signal, you're going to say, okay, Harry Hajibu, I'm going to push it away. I'm going to put it away. I'll put it in a container, put it back in the fridge. If you don't like food waste, go ahead and do that. But to not finish everything on your plate, I think is a challenge for a lot of us. I know for me, that's totally a thing. So I have to, in order to listen to my body, I have to ignore that I filled my plate up with a specific amount that I normally fully eat and completely finish. So that's another thing. So what do I expect and how long will it take? I'm hoping to like lose 2 to 3 pounds a week, which is like 10% of what I need to lose. So I'm thinking it'll take me 10 to 12 weeks. I'm hoping to hit my goal by New Year's. I'm sort of doing a reverse New Year's resolution. I want to hit it before New Year's. I want to lose the regain before the New Year's. So who's going to do it with me? I would love to hear what kind of biohacks you guys use. So if you have a biohack that you're using that you're like, this is an amazing way to manage weight for me, please write it down below. I would love to hear from you. Definitely subscribe if you want to follow me and see how I do with this, because I will come back and update the situation. What of these tactics are working out? Is there certain things that aren't working really well, and how is my weight loss going? And that is it. So stay tuned for more, and I hope you guys are all doing well. Love you.